19th. We're doing our weekly Q&A. I'm just getting things set up. I wanted to get rolling before, because I had posted it was going to go live at 2, and it's 2:04. Oh my gosh. We're just going to get Instagram rolling here. Here it comes. Go live. All right. So I hope everyone's doing well. I hope everyone's having a good week. We had a nice little live stream here on the channel last night, playing some music, getting prepared for this week's gig. If you didn't know, my band is going to be getting together. My band from New York is getting together to play up at the Side Door Jazz Club in Old Lyme, Connecticut. Getting started the first time getting the band back together since the pandemic. So this will be exciting. What's up, Gotti? What's up? What's up, Uzi? Thanks for joining. What's up, Jared? We're going to be at the Side Door on Saturday night. So I hope if you're in Connecticut, know anybody in Connecticut, you can send them our way. And of course, this is our weekly Q&A. So feel free, as we're getting things rolling here this afternoon, to drop in those questions. But otherwise, I have a couple things. I wanted to talk about something that people don't talk about, just because it's part of what's up, Richard? What's up, Tony? What's up, John? In terms of getting prepared for a gig, and I think is really helpful when you've got a bunch of stuff happening, or when you've got a lot of tunes in your book. So right before the pandemic, I'll show you guys these folders. I got these folders made up for my band that have the band name and the folder. I was very proud of myself for that. But they're already ripping anyway, so I thought they would last longer, but apparently not. But anyway, so the book has, let's see, the numbers go up to, 70. And we got a new tune for this weekend, 71. So we're up to 71, and like the books are this thick. And like, man, that is heavy. And I got to put that, it's in New York, right? I'm in Texas. These are in Texas right now. So I got to get these to Connecticut. So you got to take the folders, you got to take everything out, right? So I'm taking everything out, putting them in order. All these little things make for a good experience for your band when you go to play a gig. So I'm just saying, all those little things, they do make a difference. What's up, Trevor? I'm doing well. How are you? So what's up, Armando? Just saying, taking the time to go through, put the tunes in order, makes things really easy for the band to know what's coming and to know what to expect, to know what you're going to play. I sent out the set list like 3 weeks ago. I know sometimes it's nice to have total flexibility, but knowing that I have to bring the folders and cut everything down and like select the sets ahead of time is actually, for me, I think a good thing. Because then I kind of lock yourself in a good way. Like, all right, this is what we're going to play. These are the tunes that we have. We got to make a set work with these because we don't have all the charts. But that also reminds me that I need to get some gigs back happening for the band, because we have so much music, 71 charts with my sextet. So trombone, saxophone, he also plays bass clarinet, guitar, piano, bass, drums. We got to get it back on the road. So if you want the band to come to where you are, you got to let me know so I can figure out where we should go. But it's time. I've got another record for this band coming out. The Chamber Music America grant that I got a few months ago is going to put together another record and everything. So I'm working on music, 10 new tunes, 9 new tunes for the band. So we're going to make it happen, but I got to know where we should go. So you got to let me know as we move forward here. So as people are formulating some questions, I see some coming in on YouTube and Facebook. But if you have questions, feel free to drop them into the questions or into the comments, and I'll see them. We do also have our Jazz Trombone Day. I'll keep on mentioning it. That's November the 20th, and I keep mentioning it on the stream because it'll be streaming. We'll be streaming live all day, and we'll have a great concert in the evening on Saturday, November 12th. So if you can join us, we would love to have you from anywhere in the world. And we're going to have some really great trombonists as guest artists. Ido Meshulam from LA, from Israel, will be here, and we will be having the YouTubes play, which is the Jazz Trombone Ensemble from UNT, and I'll be starting the day off with a recital, and we're going to have 2 virtual guest artists, Jeffrey Miller, who's played with Wynton Marsalis and Ariana Grande and John Legend, and we have TJ Norris, who plays with the Dirty Dozen Brass Band, and Delfeo Marsalis, and it's just going to be a great day. So I hope you can mark that down. It's like 4 weeks away. So today's the 19th. It's November 20th. So we're just about 4 weeks away from Jazz Trombone Day. And we're going to have a lot of fun. Have our finalists for the competition and all of that. What's up, Trombone Bebop? Join in our live stream today. All right, so that's enough about that. Do send people my way if they're going to be if you're going to be in Connecticut or know anybody in Connecticut. Obviously, this was supposed to be a makeup show for the Cast of Characters release show, but I've got another record coming out. I'll show you that too. This record right here, whoop, whoop. Out of Focus, it's called. It's some stuff I've been working on over the last year or so. Some solo trombone, some trombone ensemble, some quartet. So we're going to play a couple tunes out of this new record. What's up, Carmen and Tori? I hope you're good, man. It's been too long. What's happening? But yes, we'll be at Side Door on Saturday, playing some music from this, playing some music from Cast of Characters. So that'll be a fun time. And yeah, so okay, I'm gonna get to these questions. I think you live in Connecticut, don't you, Carmen? Man, last night was brutal. Also, as a fellow upstate New York person, I don't know if you watched the game, Carmen, but the last couple of plays of that Bills Titans game was not that fun to watch. But anyway, okay. So from John, there's a question. Moving on to our Q&A portion here. We've got, was that a large bore horn you were playing on the stream last night? Yes. So I have this trombone, in addition to the 3B Plus that I play most frequently. I play this trombone sometimes. Hey now, Alton's making fun of me and the Bills. Come on, man. They're actually good for the first time in forever. So it's a Con 88H from the late 60s, and I play it sometimes. I don't know, just sometimes when I'm just too lazy to bring my horn to school. But sometimes just as a, to switch up things up a little bit. I've never been good at switching back and forth, so I kind of like, let me play this one for a while. And so I'm just playing it. So I decided to play that one this week, and I don't know. But yes, so it was a large bore. I think it's, it's a different challenge. I do like the sound of the large bore. No, Alton, I am not going to be a Cowboys fan. I'm not even going to put that on the screen. I'll never, ever, never, ever. What's up, Diego? What's up, Jonah? What's up, Matt? Thanks for joining. So yeah, anyway, that's that. And then Marcinkowitz made me this mouthpiece that's pretty much, it's a large bore and it has a little bit different shape than the normal one, but they made me one that kind of matches the one that I play on the 3B Plus. So anyway, that's the setup, the nerdy setup questions, but that's okay. We'll deal with it. All right, let me get some coffee as we get some more questions. You know it. All right, so what else is going on? So I've been just organizing those folders for this weekend, and thinking about all the things coming up, because it's just been so long since things have been happening. It's so good to play some music last night. Nope, I'm not bringing anybody on as a guest today. Not today, maybe in the future. Thanks for your enthusiasm, though, on Instagram. Appreciate that. So, something that I like to think about is when switching between horns, and it's just like making sure that, at least for me, that you're really strong in your sound concept, so that when you go to pick up another horn, it's like just another expression of yourself, but like in slightly different clothes or something like that, like it's a different color. It does sound a little bit different, but the essence of like what I'm going to play, how I'm going to play, the sound that I want to get is the same, on that bigger setup versus smaller setup. And it's not that different. 547 on the large bore, 525 I play that medium bore size, whereas Joe Jefferson likes to say that's the size. But I think that it's important to just have that sound concept and be really strong, and not just do what the horn wants you to do, but to be able to do what you need to do, you know. And so there's great stories and great videos even of people, like I know there's a Irby Green video where he's playing some like real crappy Bundy trombone. There's tons of stories of like Watrous picking up like any trombone and just like sounding amazing from anywhere in any context at any given moment, you know. So that's like an important part of playing, is just like having, you know, Wycliffe Gordon can do that too. He can pick up any trombone. It sounds like Wycliffe Gordon. And that's something that I'm striving for in my life. I don't know, it's not happening right at this moment, but you know, just I want to pick up any trombone and basically sound like myself, which I think, you know, most people do sound like themselves, but I just mean like, and be comfortable. I remember, you never know when you're going to get yourself into a situation where you're going to have to play some other trombone, different size, different feel, different flow. There was one time at Smoke Jazz Club. I lived very close to Smoke Jazz Club in New York. We lived on 109th Street and Broadway. Smoke is at 104th, well, between 103rd and 104th. Is that right? Yeah, that's right. 103rd and 102nd. No, that's also wrong. Wow, it's been too long since I've been to New York. I'm glad I'm going to get back there next week. Anyway, it's right around there, and and I went there to see Michael Deese, and he at the end was like, "Man, you got to sit in." I'm like, "Oh, I don't have my horn, whatever." He's like, "No, man, you got to play my horn." And at that time, he was playing this like large bore Wrath, black. It's on that cover of that record, one of his records, but it's black and gold. And I was like, "Oh no, man, you're gonna." And so he made me do it, and that was like a good wake up call to me of like, "Hey, man, get your crap together, get it together, be able to pick up that horn and make it play." So I do that to myself, you know. I've seen plenty of guys that can like pick up a bass trombone, like Wycliffe, like Mike, and just like still play their stuff, do their thing, and it doesn't seem to affect them in any way. Maybe it's just like you know, what do you call it? Maybe it's not real, but I think that they can still play their thing, get to their thing, either way. Oh, look at that. Peter knows exactly what horn I'm talking about. Wow, that's crazy. Well, I played it once. So, sorry. I apologize that I played it once. Hope you're doing well, Peter. Thanks for stopping in. All right, here's a question. So feel free to drop in the questions. What's up, Boo Muhammad? Thanks for dropping through. Eric. Okay, here's a question from Fritz. Fritz asks it, another slides piece question. Tips for syncing articulations with slide positions. Yeah, you have to go really slow. And you have to line it up. That's just the like base level expectation. You know, that you're gonna line up your you do something easy, like an Arbins, like right, a nice simple slow tempo, and you got to really snap your wrist to make sure you're getting it. And in this key, I like to go. But you have to snap it to the position. And you have to make sure that you get to the position, so you throw and catch it right at the right moment, so that your tongue and your slide are exactly lined up. I don't know that there's a tip other than to do it. You have to be snappy with the slide. It's not slow, you know. Even if you're playing legato, you have to be fast. Like you can't go. That's slow. See how I'm snapping the slide? I'm not going but it's still smooth. I'm going do 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 do. The great legato technique that I always go to, I've heard people talk about it when they're playing like a Rochu etude or something, is stay longer, move faster. Stay longer, move faster. And then your tongue has to go right with the slide. The slide is rhythmic, just like your tongue. That's how I think about it. Hopefully that helps you, Fritz. And this doesn't matter. Okay, so now you say double tonguing. So you got to do the double tonguing slow. I always take the same exercise. Now I don't doodle tongue, so I'll just double tongue. And if you're double tonguing or doodle tonguing or going fast, the alternate positions are even more relevant. You got to do it. So check it out. Like, oh man, I haven't done it like this. The trick is to go slow. Make sure you got it here. Right? Yeah, that's a good way. Jared says, my teacher called it lazy slide syndrome. The slide speed lagging behind the tongue. You just have to match it up, whether it's double, doodle, triple, anything. You have to just line it up, and it has to be just as rhythmic as your tongue, the slide arm, the slide hand. Cool. We got a thumbs up. So Fritz is happy. Excellent. I see a question on Instagram. Let me go over here. Question from Philip. Where in the mouth do you tongue? And what's your general opinion on this topic? The topic of where to tongue in your mouth. I was always told that you should tongue where the gums meet the top of the teeth. I had a long time where I unwittingly would tongue kind of between my teeth, and I had to move it up. But when I double tongue, for example, my tongue doesn't go that far forward. It kind of stays backwards back a little bit from there. So it's kind of like up on the soft palate part, like in the front, but on the soft palate part of my mouth. But for single tongue, that's where I'm aiming for, is right where the tongue meets the gums at the top, on the top part of your mouth. If it's in between the teeth, it's too low. And if you get too high, it starts to get muddy. If it gets too far back. So, then when you're triple tonguing, I think about it in a circle. So it's like dago, because it goes ta ka ta, right? Ta at the top, like ta ka ta 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 ka ta. It's like a circle. I don't know if that makes sense to anybody else, but that's how I think about it. What's up, Jose? What's up, Caleb? Thanks for dropping in. Feel free to drop in your questions. We got another one on Instagram here from Eric. New to trombone and cannot find the high pitch positions. Well, yeah, once you get past the first octave, the positions all change. What note can't you find? And how high are you talking about? Because once you get certain, if you're up like super high, like way up there, there's a lot of different places you can play it. Like some people say to play E flat, high E flat in second. I can never hit it there. I always play it in third. Sorry, it's probably too loud for this microphone. But you can play them in all the natural positions, like except for D. I mean, you can play D in fourth, high D in fourth, but they're also just in first, second, and third, really. So which positions, Eric? I can't. I'll tell you whatever one you want. All right, let's go back over here. Okay, excellent. We're caught up on questions there. Cool. All right, so yeah, I mean, generally in the upper register, yeah, I play high D in first, high E flat in third, high E in second, high F in first, I hate play. Don't play. Like I like to play C in third. I like to play B flat in first and third. I like to play G in fourth and second. I like to use first and third position A flat. Um, when improvising, when reading music, I never use first position A flat. When improvising, sometimes there's contexts where you can kind of get away with it, you know. Not in, like, so if you're in D minor, you know, you know, you can kind of get, you can kind of use it, but usually third. That's my least favorite note. Not that anybody asked, but it's been the bane of my existence since I was in high school, man. That A flat. If you want me to hit an A flat, that's how you can get me on a chart. Just so you know. You want to write a chart and have me mess it up, come in loud or medium on a high A flat, and I'm gonna frack it 3 out of 10 times. So someday I'll get that consistency together on that A flat. But there's something about that partial that, because you play it in third and it just doesn't want to come out sometimes. So best of luck to all of you trying to also play that A flat. All right, well, Eric, it seems like Eric maybe bounced and didn't know what position he wanted to ask about. Thanks, Gabriel, for joining. Who's a big band? Kim Nazaratov, big band. What's up? Skelebanes. Hope everybody's doing well. Having a great week. Trying to let people know that this is the new time for the next couple of months, or a couple of weeks, months, for the Q&A. It's Tuesday time. Yeah, he's still putting his horn together to figure out which octave he's talking about. Hey, what's up, Adam Kubota, Postmodern Jukebox. Yeah, so feel free to drop in any questions as we go here. I think I talked about all the things. How's tour, man? How's tour going? I think PMJ, Postmodern Jukebox, is back out on the road after a long hiatus, just like all of us. What's up, Freddie? Oh, a few sim things coming up here. Why don't you like Fontana and Rosalino? It's not that I don't like Carl Fontana or Frank Rosalino. They're just not my favorite. They're not my favorite. I don't know. There's just like something about the way that it hits me. It doesn't hit me in the same way as JJ, Curtis, Slide. Fontana is like a little too noodly for me. Uh-oh. Talking about me with Dave Tedeschi. Hope tell Dave I said what's up. I haven't talked to him in a while. Yeah, so Fontana and Rosalino, I think they can do stuff that I can't do. So let's put that out. That's funny. Sacramento Run. Yes, indeed. I forgot about that. What were we saying? Oh yeah, Fontana and Rosalino. They just they can do things that I can't do for sure. So I recognize that, and it's just like he plays so incredible, but it doesn't give enough space to really absorb what he's playing. It's kind of like Rosalino's a little frenetic for me. Like, go, 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 go. What's up, Dave Tedeschi? Oh man, it's been too long. Hope you're good. Hope tour's good. So anyway, that's why I don't really like Fontana and Rosalino. And it's not that I don't like them. I just think that in a limited time situation, there's a lot of things that you can address through the music of J.J. Johnson, Curtis Fuller, Slide Hampton that you won't address by going to those guys first. There's things like melodic development and articulation and cleanliness and all these kind of things that kind of they're not the priority for those other guys. Maybe they're more about flow, more about acrobatics in certain cases, like that's a thing and it's an important thing. But when I'm thinking about like what's the like 20% of stuff that gets 80% of the results, to me that's JJ, Slide, Curtis, the fundamentals. Dave Tedeschi, when is the long anticipated Double Stuff reunion tour? That was the name of my fusion band from college. That is a really good question. No, it's good. I'm glad to not talk about trombone all the time. That's really funny. I think I have the record. Let's see. Oh yeah, some sweet high school, college age. This was our first record cover. Look at that. Oh, you can't see it on there. That's so funny. But Dave used to play. That was great. Yeah, anyway, fusion band from high school. Miss you too, Dave. Trying to get this shelf together. Okay. Yeah. That's funny. What's up, DJ? Okay. Who are some players today that influence you? Are you talking about trombonists, Daniel, or anybody? Well, I'll just say anybody and answer the question. I mean, a lot of my peers influence me a lot, and the people that I play with and work for, like Anat Cohen and the Tentet. There's Nadia Nordhaus, really great trumpet player. There's Vitor Gonçalves, who's a great accordion and piano. See you later, Dave. Accordion, piano, and then of course, like Marshall Jokes and Ryan Keberly and Michael Deese and these guys, James Burton. Those guys all influence me a lot, and not only the way that they play, but the way that they are, and the way that the professionalism and everything, all that stuff. So the musical and non-musical. When we're talking about like playing and language and music and stuff, I mean, there's a lot of people. I could just list people all day, but I still listen and feel inspired by Chick Corea and Pat Metheny and people like that, but also, like Lucas Pino, who plays in my band. He's writing some incredible stuff, and then the people that are coming in for like Ido Mushalom, or like these finalists for the Jazz Trombone Day. They're playing great stuff, and I think there's a lot of things, a lot of influences. I mean, I think some of the influences stick for a long time, and then it's kind of just being open to whatever's happening now, whatever's happening in the world of music, so a lot of those people, I mean, yeah, almost anything is an influence, but yeah, I mean, I'm checking out a lot of music for the label, like people sending me a lot of stuff, so I hear a lot of different things, and I try to take something away from whatever that might be. What's up, Luke? Have you ever been asked to write and bring a tune into a band? Were you able to do it? Yeah, Lucas asked a couple times to bring charts to the Ninette, but I always feel like, in a short amount of time. Yeah, I mean, there's always a deadline. It's always like tomorrow. Good to see you too, Luke. Charts, short amount of time. Yeah, so I always feel like it's always awkward though, especially when it's always original music. I mean, the band leader probably doesn't think so, or they wouldn't have asked you. But sometimes I'll adapt something for a different project. Like we did a record for Positone called Something Blue is the name of the record. And the week before, it was like, oh, everybody bring tunes. But then we didn't know what the instrumentation was until right beforehand. And so then we had to figure out what that's going to be. And so I brought in a tune from this record called The Chase, and we redid it again. It's called Why Aren't You Excited? And so we recorded that on there. That was short, but you kind of sometimes you get shortcuts for putting together arrangements. You repurpose something when you've got a short amount of time. For me, Okay, from John, a question. Can you think of any daily exercises where the goal is to go slower every day? That's a good question. That's a good idea also, to go slower every day with something. I don't know. I think articulation is the one, articulation and language, like taking language through the keys. But an exercise with the goal is to go slower every day. Maybe playing pedal notes so you can hold them out longer and longer, but no, not off the top of my head. But it's a good idea to go slower and slower. So something that requires a good amount of stamina, you would want to practice. Or like if you were working on the upper register, or melodies, ballad melodies, like up in the upper register, maybe you want to take them slower and slower and slower. That's probably a pretty good idea. I like that idea. What's up? Who's this? Trombonacho. What's happening? Sorry, I can't read these names sometimes. James, there's a question from James here. What's up, James? What are some things you've done or changed about your teaching to make you a better teacher? That's a good question. What are some things you've done? Well, I think that being open to different points of view is important, and to continue to try to learn stuff. And I think that it's important for a teacher to demonstrate the big picture concepts that they are espousing. Working hard, doing projects, playing gigs. It's in the music world. Doing things. Like you gotta it's not just in a vacuum. We're not just practicing in a vacuum. But I try to refine curriculum, and I kind of swing back and forth between being more prescribed and more open to doing what the students want. It kind of goes back and forth. Even within a semester, sometimes it has to go back and forth. But I think I've become a little more relaxed, and kind of just knowing that every person is going to progress at their own speed. I used to kind of be like, no, you need to do these exercises, do this, and that will get you over to this place, and then you can go and do what you want. I kind of had that sort of mentality, at a certain point. But I think, you kind of have to have a balance of, you have to have a balance of lots of things, but a balance of expectations and things like that. But trying to have specific exercises to fix or address specific problems, and that's something that only comes with experience, I think. And then having new ways to practice, teaching ways to practice. And I think my job as a teacher is not always to tell you to do something. It may be just to ask you a question and for you to think about it differently than you thought about it when you came in to the beginning of your lesson. And I said, well, what about this? Or what about that? Did you think of it this way? Have you thought about it this way? What if you did it like this? Especially as you move along through a degree program, or the longer you spend time with a teacher. Most of my students, they know what I'm going to say about something before I'm going to say it. We were working on something recently, and even, one of my students was like, oh, you're going to tell me not to play this on this chord and whatever. I'm like, oh, you're probably right. At least I'm consistent. But it's kind of like you get to a certain point, and then you just kind of have to let things be and try to shape each person into the person that they want to be. Because it's not about what I want. I want them to make informed decisions. That's my whole kind of basis, educationally speaking, is that I think it's really important to make musical decisions from a place of strength and a place of understanding. And that has to do with tunes, that has to do with trombone technique, that has to do with language and vocabulary and playing the history or not playing the history, playing free or playing modern or playing trad or anything. It's always you need the knowledge, and then you can do whatever you want. I don't care. It's your life, it's your music. Just because I hear it a certain way doesn't mean you need to hear it that way, but I will tell you oh, you could do it this way, this way, this way, this way, and then it's up to you to kind of figure that out from there. And I know that I was frustrated by that teaching approach when I was in college, for example. When I had encountered a master class or a teacher where they kind of taught in that way. And it made me and my friend Chris start a nonprofit dealing with jazz education and having a way to practice improvisation and teach improvisation to beginners, beginner improvisers of all levels, meaning from just picking up the instrument to having been playing an instrument for a long, long time. and coming up with ways to engage with people with improvisation as a technique for enhancing musicianship. You know, it's something I've been thinking about for a long, long time. So I've kind of deviated around your question, James, but that's kind of what I think. What's up, Hike? How's Eastman? B trombone. Matt, thanks for joining. I saw some questions. I got to scroll back here. From Connor, how would you integrate a new piece of vocabulary into your playing? So that is a good question, and that's something we deal with all the time. And I think that part, the last part of a new piece of vocabulary, is the hardest part and the part we skip over the most, because we have a teacher or we're in a class and they say, hey man, like learn this in 12 keys or play this lick in 12 keys. And that's cool. And I do that. I think it's important, but the actual application is the most important thing. And so for you, for anyone, for me in particular, if I have to start with just plugging it in. Okay, what is some places where I can play this lick? Is it a 2/5 lick? Is it 4 beats for each chord? Is it 2 beats for each chord? If it's 2 beats in each chord, you know, maybe you find a tune that you can take it through. You know, tunes have sequences. You know, the Bridge of Cherokee has a sequence, right? Hold step 2/5. So can you take it through that? If it's long 2/5s, 2/5 1, 2/5 1, right? Down in whole steps, or maybe it's like the Bridge of Eternal Triangle, right? And it's da 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 da, and then 2/5 2/5, right? Quick, and so you maybe do it long version and then short version. So basically, finding a place to plug it in and then plug it in. And so once you've plugged it in, then it's important that you start to be able to hear it in context with what you would normally play. So then I'd say, all right, when we get to the bridge, if it's maybe the first 2/5 of a bridge, say, we're going to improvise into that lick and we're going to improvise out of the lick. And you got to do it 10 different ways. So you got to play 10 choruses and go into and out of it in different ways. And that's the part, the application part that we forget to do, or we run out of time to do, you know? Excuse me. All right, we got a couple more minutes, maybe 5, 10 more minutes. I got to get the rest of these folders situated, pull all the charts. But I see a couple more questions, so feel free to drop in a couple more, or else we'll be back next week. Will I do it next week? I might be traveling next week, so we might not have a Q&A next week, but what's happening? Come on, Instagram, go away. There we go. Okay, all right, so question from Peter. What's up, Max, Lucas? Feel free to drop in those questions. Just time for a couple more here. What's up, Niall? What are your lifelong goals as a musician and non-musician? Something for a non-musician could be to have a family. What are my lifelong goals as a musician and non-musician? You know, I have been having a lot of reflection on these sort of questions over the last, particularly over the last 7 months. It took me a while into the pandemic before a lot of things kind of hit my radar. It took a solid year of reflection before things started to kind of light bulb. I don't know about light bulb, but kind of just like, oh wait, kind of like things. But I mean, I used to think it was not that common of a goal to like say like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go after like freedom and like be able to do it what I want when I want, you know. I think, you know, things are changing, and those goals that I once had, I'm not sure that I still have them, to be honest. Like, I'm not sure that they're the same. And there's a lot of things I used to think about certain situations or certain people, not people, but just like, oh, a person that does X or that does Y, or like a professor, like, you know, oh, well, that person clearly doesn't want to be a player. You know, that might be something I would have thought when I was in college. And now I see all of my contemporaries, people older than me. Mike Dees is a great example, you know, of someone that really is a player and then also is a professor and maybe also does other things, you know. And so for me, my goal right now is to kind of come to a sense of peace with myself, for a long time, I've been on the grind train, and I'm not saying that I'm going to stop doing things, or I'm not going to keep working, or I'm not going to keep having projects, or I'm not going to keep writing music or anything like that, but coming at it from a new angle, I think, instead of from a more is more angle, and more of the right things, or more of the things that matter more of the things that matter more, you know. Yeah, it's like I just don't want to have regrets, you know. So something that like I've realized that I want to change, and I don't know what the specific goal is based on this observation, but even gigs at the highest level are still a hamster wheel. That's been a recent thought. And what I mean is it's a hamster wheel because you got to get back on every time you put out a new record. You got to get back on every time you have like to earn money. If that's your only way to earn money is by playing gigs, then you're just constantly trading your time for money, right? You're constantly, all right, here's 60 minutes is worth $300. Here's whatever, maybe it's $100 for 5 hours, whatever it is. You're like trading your time for money. And so in certain situations you don't play gigs for the money anyway, of course, but like the goal is to not do that, you know, to create so much value and so much I don't know, create a life in which I don't have to get on that train every, you know, X amount of weeks to like tour for X amount of gigs to make X amount of money. You know, that's kind of like the peace and the place that is what I'm trying to get to. And I firmly believe that like it is not the job of a musician, of an artist, to have to be poor, and for a musician to have to be desperate or destitute or the starving artist. I just don't think it's true, and I don't think you're welcome to go and be that, but I don't think that has to be the reality for everyone, or for, you know, for you, for whomever. That there's so many ways to integrate art into your life and pursue things that can help you to make the life that you want. So anyway, that's kind of the long circuitous answer to like I'm trying to come to peace and trying to come to some kind of understanding of what it is I want to be doing, in addition to, you know, playing. Obviously I want to play, I want to tour. I was just saying, I got all these freaking charts, I got to organize this damn book. So I mean, it's like, yeah, I want to do that, but also, you know, not have to feel compelled by the forces outside of myself. Anyway. Yeah, see, that's exactly the thing, you know. You feel like there's some kind of thing, like Peter says, like that, hear from someone who has done it, you know. Done what? What have I done? You know, like that's how it feels from over here, you know. And I think that the longer it goes, the more I realize that it's just like going to keep on feeling that way, you know. There's some, I mean, can't really comment on people's names, but, you know, there's some situations that have happened that I've observed, and I'm like, I would have thought that person was not in need of any opportunity at all. And then you find out through some situation that happens that like, oh, that person is not cool. They need help, you know? And, so, you know, goals for me is like just to not be a burden on other people and to take care of what I need to take care of and not be irresponsible with life stuff, you know, and irresponsible in that I don't want to cause harm or anything to anybody else through that. But anyway, I know it was a long side detour, but I've been thinking about it a lot, to be honest, you know, and I'm trying to be as honest as possible all the time. See some more people joining us. Caetano, Kevin, Timothy. What's happening? We got time. I got time for just one more question probably. Right, there's one from Connor here. The value in practicing pedal tones. So we'll end with this pedal tones question this week. So the value, I mean, sometimes number one, you need to play them. And for me, they're a color and effect, just like many other things. And I find that, you know, the stronger your pedal register, the stronger your low register in general, the easier the upper register is. It helps you control the air in a different way, you know. And there's one thing to be able to play a pedal tone, and there's another thing to be able to use a pedal tone. That's something that I've tried to integrate into my playing, is that if I hear it when I want to improvise and I want to play a pedal tone, I want to be able to do it, you know. So I want to be able to get to that and access them. So you have to practice them, you know. There's like an Arbenz exercise, you know, where people go. So you do that exercise, but you use a pedal note. So I'm trying to play quietly to not clip this microphone because it's set to my voice level, not the trombone, but playing stuff like that to be able to use the pedal tones on command. That's the trick to me, to like get to the next level, man. It's like, it's not about just like play the pedal note. It's about like use the pedal note. So I've also come up with arrangements that I play that force me to use those parts of the register. I have a solo trombone arrangement of Single Petal of a Rose that I do that has pedal notes in it. And I try to use them when I play in intros or cadenzas, just because like I want to be able to use it as part of the expression of the trombone, you know. You know, Marshall Jokes does it so well, and I'm like, man, it sounds great when he does it, so I want to be able to do it. I want to do it too. I want to be able to do it too, you know. So anyway, they are useful, and they definitely help open up your lower register. All right, it's been a great Q&A. We'll be back soon, either next week or the week after, but Tuesdays afternoons, if you want to come and hang out, ask questions, I'll be here. And it's always good to connect. So have a safe and wonderful rest of your week, and we'll catch everybody next time.